Air mass is a large volume of air in the atmosphere that is mostly uniform in temperature and moisture. Air masses can extend thousands of kilometers across the surface of the Earth and can reach from ground level to the stratosphere within 16 kilometers to 10 miles into the atmosphere. Air mass is a broad assemblage of air highlighting commonly comparable temperature and dampness qualities. They can expand a huge number of square kilometers, and air mass is distinguished depending on their temperature and humidity qualities, just as their geological region of beginning. Meteorologists identify air masses according to where they form over the Earth. There are four categories for air masses: the Arctic, tropical, polar, and equatorial. Arctic air masses form in the Arctic region and are very cold. Tropical air masses form in low latitude areas and are moderately warm. Polar air masses take shape in high latitude regions and are cold. Equatorial air masses develop near the equator and are warm. Air masses are also identified based on whether they form over the land or over water. Maritime air masses form over water and are humid. Continental air masses form over land and are dry. For instance, if an air mass is dry and warm and started from the tropical region over a land mass, it would be known as a continental tropical air mass. In the event that an air mass is humid and cold and started over the sea in the high scopes, it would be known as a maritime polar air mass. The air mass name will consistently start with a lowercase letter connoting either continental or maritime, and a subsequent capital letter meaning equatorial, tropical, polar, Arctic, and Antarctic. Maritime air masses are humid air masses starting from seas or innermost waterways. Continental air masses are dry air masses starting from land. Tropical air masses are warm, soggy air masses starting from the central region. Tropical air masses are warm air masses beginning from the lower scopes. Polar air masses are cold air masses starting from the upper scores, and icy air masses are made out of amazingly cold air that began from the post. Icy air masses are considerably colder and drier than polar air masses, and Antarctic air masses are significantly more limited than Arctic air masses. The regular kinds of air masses are maritime tropical, maritime polar, continental polar, continental tropical, and continental Arctic. The maritime tropical air masses are warm, humid air masses starting from the seas in the tropics, while maritime polar air masses are cold, humid, air masses starting from seas in the polar areas, and continental polar are masses that are cold, dry air masses starting from land regions in the polar areas. Continental tropical air masses are hot. It has dry air masses starting from land in the tropics. Continental Arctic air masses are cold. They are dry air masses starting from the North Pole. And lastly, The continental Antarctic air masses are incredibly cold and dry air masses starting from the land and at the South Pole.